This could be an interesting one. Fine. So we're Iconic Labs. We're a media... Pardon? Fair enough. We're a media and technology company. It's myself, John Quinlan, the CEO. David is usually presenting with me, but he's got another talk just at this time, so he's not here. I figure there might be a few people, well, I thought there would be a few people that wanted to know about wide cells, especially what we're listed at. So I'll run through that if anyone wants to know what's happening. But the short story is that we were asked to come in and look at this company called Wide Cells that had a few issues. The company is being restructured. The current Wide Cells business is now in a subsidiary, and we are using the PLC to do a new media and technology business. So the Wide Cells business is currently under review, but the main business, the principal business from our point of view, is the media and technology business. So what is that? So we're a media and technology business. We provide online marketing, content, and social media expertise, and we're very, very good at it. We're in a unique position. We're the best in the world at what we do in that knowledge set. Going forward, we are looking to get short-term revenues by doing marketing and advertising for clients and brands, but we're also looking to long-term build on that and build some products, own some IP, build our own brands, and take advantage of the structural changes that are occurring in the actual media and technology fields. We know all this, and I don't know if you guys are aware of a company called Unilad, but we actually started and, built Unilad to the biggest social media publisher in the world. And we're using that experience to take us, using those contacts, that experience to work on this business, Iconic Labs. We think there's a lot of potential in the future for a roll-up opportunity and a lot of growth, but the first things first is it's all about revenues for us. So just to give you an idea of Unilad, because I think that's where the team have come from, and that's something that we can't separate ourselves from. Started in 2014, £200 of investment from the person in the back of the room there, and we grew it to the biggest social media publisher. To give you an example of the numbers, we reached 500 million people a month. That's more than Snapchat, more than Twitter. And going forward, how we made our money was that we did advertising work with some clients who are listed here. These are just some of the people we work with, but global clients, multinationals, big budgets. We left Unilad at the end of last year. We had a hostile takeover. We had a dispute with a co-founder. Our rivals bought his settlement debt, and we went on from there and we got taken over. We're out of the company now and we're free to pursue all the clients and all the opportunities that we started to develop at Unilad, but we never got the chance to take advantage of. No. So I think for us, we built Unilad to 10 million in revenues a year from zero. So that's something that we're very comfortable with doing, and that's the position we're in now, to do that at Iconic Labs. So for us, the big opportunity is in the structural shifts where, frankly, no one of my age group is watching television anymore. Where they watch their content and spend their time is online, usually on mobile devices. And that gives us two big opportunities. Number one is creating content for these new platforms, the social media platforms, but also people like Netflix who need the content that is slightly different than on TV. And the second thing is an advertising opportunity, which is targeting the people who are looking at this, who are spending time on these platforms and looking at this content. And brands don't know how to reach them. That's our expertise. Brands need us to do that. The numbers are very, very big. In terms of they're all on the screen there, but in terms of the actual size of the market, all these traditional agencies and brands, you're looking at a market of $200 billion a year globally, over $200 billion a year globally, and it's only increasing in value every year on year. I say that our strength as an organisation is, yes, it's partly because of our Unilad experience. We know what we need to do. We've done it before. We've got the contacts. We've got the ability to execute the plan I'm going to tell you about. and it's a very scalable plan. We want to focus on revenues from day one, but obviously there's got to be some upside for everyone, and that is what we're really looking at long term. But we want to build that on the base of a solid business. So I'm not going to talk about all these, but if you want to go into more detail, we're at stand 128. But I'm just going to talk mainly about how we're going to make money first, and then look to the future in terms of capital growth as well. So this is probably the best example of, this is something we're doing right now. This is our bread and butter, agency and consultancy. We go in and work with brands on their content, their advertising. It's exactly a very similar model to the old-fashioned way of doing things, which is an advertising agency will make an advert for television. We will be that agency, but we will just distribute the content on social media. And we get paid twice. We're the agency and the platform. If we look at the example here, our method of doing things is usually by using data, strong use of data. So we look at the data that's coming out from us, we adapt and make content based on that data, and then we analyze it. That's a classic example of a deal that we did. I actually did myself. So it paid us about £660,000 a year, and that's something that we're looking to do again and replicate in Iconic Labs. The strategically important part of our business is growing brands ourselves, and this actually allows us to monetize these brands in multiple different ways, but using all based off digital platforms. So we are looking for lots of different areas, but we think the best way of doing things is to look at highly engaged verticals that may be a bit underserved in mainstream media. This is stuff like esports, wellness, identity. Take esports for an example. This is not a niche. This is an example where this is the most watched sport in the world, but it's not being catered to properly by mainstream media. We're not looking to replicate Unilad again because it won't work. Things have changed, but some of the tactics and some of the skills and some of the strategies we had at Unilad are still valid, and we will be using those again. And one of the insights that we had is we want to build things on social media, build things digitally, and then we can monetize things in a number of ways. I've spoken to you about the agency side of things before. I'm going to rush through a little bit here, but there's ways we can monetize by selling products. There's ways we can monetize by partnering with content producers like Netflix, use our platform as a testing area for their content, and do joint production deals with people, like we did one with Channel 4 when we were at Unilad. So, and that is using the content that we've produced online, but that can also live on other platforms, and frankly, you get paid for it again on other platforms. Going forward, I think the content licensing side of things is obviously going to be crucial to us, and I don't know if you were aware of it, but that was what we were world leaders in at Unilad, is understanding how user-generated content works, and then going on and selling that to brands. This is content that someone might take on their phone, and as a kind of like trend, is continually growing and becoming, it started off very small, but now it's a genuinely big business, and multinational brands like Pepsi are now using it for their global campaigns. Crucially, it's also something that we were the world leaders in our previous roles, and we can do that again very easily. The last thing is the tech product development. I think this is, for us, is a longer term aim, but it's something that we want to basically build on top of the model that I've just described to you about owning brands and being able to do content and marketing for them. But the idea, I think, with this is that these are products that will take advantage of the structural changes that we see. People like Facebook are being, it's ripe for disruption. There's a lot of criticism of Facebook itself at the moment, and these are things where I'm not going to sort of go into it in too much detail in terms of our plans, but in terms of the areas I mentioned before, there will be a social media network just for esports. There will be a messaging platform just for wellness. Everything's getting fragmented, and we're in a perfect position to take advantage of it. We're not going to do everything at the same time. I think that's really important to understand. The first part of it is understanding that we've got to make revenues. Longer term, there's opportunities for much more exciting growth with a roll-up opportunity for people in this space. Everyone is so far been very, very open to conversations with us about a roll-up opportunity. A lot of people need cash. Maybe venture capital money was flowed through this industry a couple of years ago. People haven't been as focused on cash as they maybe should have been or are trying to be now. But there's an opportunity to get a lot of bargains, frankly, in this industry and roll it up into one platform. But we want to do that on the basis of a model that's already working, and that's our agency and consultancy model. As I said, I think it's going to be a couple of years' time where we fully see the potential of the products that we will make in the areas that we were talked about previously there. Very simple, very, very targeted sort of plan initially. It's all about revenues and cash flows and profitability. I think that way will allow us to put us in our sort of, keep it our own destiny. So it's really important for us to have that as the base, and then going forward we can look at the more interesting things. But that's the main priority for us short term. Going forward, we don't need money at the moment. We're not looking for cash at the moment. We're still sort of, we haven't even changed the name of Wired Sales to Iconic Labs yet. That requires an EGM. So that tells you where we are in our sort of story here. We're right at the start, but in summary, I think for us, the main and most important thing is that we've got a great team, the best team in the world. You could not have anyone better. I know I'm quite young, but in this market, it's actually a benefit to be young because, frankly, we are able to say to brands and clients, listen, we are your customers a lot of the time, and you need to be able to reach us, and we know how to do that. I think the second part of that is that, we've actually been running a company and been around this space for, nearly 10 years, which in a pioneering market is, unique. There's no one else in our field that's available to do this right now and to come into this company and build this new business. And finally, in terms of the plan, that we're very, very aware that we don't need anyone's cash right now. All we're focused on is revenues and cash flows and profitability. And then going forward, I think there's a chance where we might be able to build products, market them ourselves through our own platforms that we've built, and that stuff is really exciting. That's the stuff that we might get a home run with. So I've been very quick because, frankly, I think it might be better if you've got any questions that we just skip straight to that, and then we can go from there.
Do you have a model of mean publication?
Sorry, say that again.
Do you have a model of mean publication?
I can't hear you.
Do you have a model of mean publication?
Meme publication. Propagation. No. So in terms of anyone didn't hear that,
Otherwise it's diffusion.
I don't quite understand what you mean.
All your models are built on that model.
Meme propagation and diffusion. Well, no, I think that if you
That because I did my research.
well, no, I'm asking if you ask. I don't quite know what you're referring to, but meme propagation. You're saying that we make memes or we distribute memes? Is that what you're saying?
Do you know what a meme is?
Oh, I know what a meme is. Yeah.
So, well, it's your product must essentially rely on meme propagation.
Oh, I see. I think I know what you mean. Look, no, it doesn't. Is the answer to that? No. So we have a situation where we have two types the way we make content. Number one, we make it in-house, right? Number two is if someone, and this is where I alluded to the user-generated content stuff, if someone else is making content, we will buy that off them, license it from them, and then we put that out, and then we own it there. But in terms of the meme side of things, no. I think that a couple of years ago, I think the industry was more around memes. There's still a place for memes, but I think that that's not really our business. We're more in the content.
Okay, I'm not sure I understand that. Perhaps I should.
Okay, well, I think we've got a situation where we would make a lot of the content in-house, whereas memes, the definition of the meme is something that's made sort of on the internet, crowd-funded. Well, I don't know what you mean then. I don't know what you mean.
A meme is a self-propagating message. So
Yeah.
any marketing message, teams meme, is a
Yeah.
meme,
Right.
which is essential of promoting any leading edge technology. The platform you put it onto, such as YouTube or wherever,
Yeah.
it's just a transport
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Okay, but what you want is I guess you're trying to get momentum in terms of people picking up on somebody's recommendations, so that people start to look at it the same way. Young girls run their own YouTube channel recommending making it.
Right.
They're generating memes.
Okay. Well, I think that we would make content for brands. I don't think that it would be usually be memes in the way that I would know them. What you're saying there in terms of creating stuff that people replicate and use across the internet, sharing is a really important part of the model.
That's a meme company.
Okay. Well, yeah. Fine. But I think the situation we're in is they're sharing something that we've created, rather than something that someone else.
What was the methodology behind designing these messages which are going to actually effectively?
Yeah. So the stuff is we're creating it, and then that's shared.
What was the methodology behind designing these things which will actually be self-perpetuating?
Well, I think that one of the things that we've learned actually is that it's not self-perpetuating a lot of the time. You actually have to work. You actually have to work very hard to get it out targeted to the people that you want to target. So because with the advertising in particular, a brand just doesn't want it to go everywhere. They might only want it to go to a certain target customer. So with that, if that's our model, then I think we need to be clear that it's much more control in it than just a sort of like a free-for-all, basically. Fine.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure. It's just interesting. I was just asking you questions.
No, yeah, fine. Well, you're the only one here, so.
Everybody fly away.
Yeah. So had you heard of Unilad then, or not?
No, I mean it's sort of. I've been using that sort of methodology to understand trends. So
Okay.
I look at memes and then pick up trends.
Yeah, similar to us, probably coming at it from a different point of view, but yeah. Huh?
So I'm just interested if you're putting together something which is, for all intents and purposes, standard marketing.
Well, we hope not.
Got them different now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there are some sort of universal truths that the clients want, right? So, but we are approaching it in a different way, in my opinion.
Trying to understand what the way was.
Yeah.
The advantage I understand it of Objects, you know far more about the customer for consumer goods than you were able to understand before. I mean, Mars don't know Mars bars.
Yeah.
By doing so.
Yeah.
Having these things, you get a better idea of who your customer is and the predilections.
Yeah. I think our thing as well is we're not just interested in who the customer is. We're interested in what content they're engaging with and the messages that they're engaging. So, for example, we can see in a way that you probably can't get from TV. We can see on a video sort of lifetime at 1 minute and 6 seconds. A lot of people drop off, for example, or a lot of people are saying in the comments they really like a certain character. So I think our USP in this area is not to focus on the people per se, like i.e. their demographic and where they live, but to focus on the content that they're yeah. So I think we've all got a place to play in the sort of ecosystem, as it were, but that's our sort of USP in it. And I think the data side of things, and you're into GDPR and stuff like that when you're talking about people's and their personal information, as it were. I think. Yeah. So we don't want to be near that, do we? So it's one of those things. Yeah.
And the point is, if you want to profile a customer and identify meaning,
Yeah.
this is what the technology gives you.
True. I agree, but I think there's been a lot of. I think previously, now in the last 10 years, people have been focusing on targeting people, and that's why you get adverts that follow you around the internet. Whereas you're looking at something else and it's following you. Whereas I think what we're focused on is more like contextual advertising, which is like, look, if they're watching a if they're watching a piece of content about a car and a new car that's doing X, Y, Z, then they're more likely to be interested in that new car as a potential purchase. Obviously, at the top of the funnel, but that's our way of looking at things.
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in that sort of car, you may very well be interested in giving us what control.
Yeah, true. Complementary. Yeah.
This is a pen plan that's
Well, I think
seriously.
no, but I think targeting the content, not the person, is what I'm saying.
People pick out macro trends.
Yeah, well, I think that's why we have such a big focus on insights and data. That's because, and it's crucial to have not just one of those. Like, there's no point in just having just the data. You will have the data and then the people to insight. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, otherwise you're lost. Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to understand what you're doing. I like this.
Yeah. What's your background then?
MBA, student marketing, 50 years in IT, knowledge categorization. Knowledge categorization in marketing. I did my MBA in waste predicting trends in markets.
Cool.
Analyzing lead
Cool. All right. Yeah. Nice. Interesting. And what do you do with that now? Is it sort of just an academic or?
Well, I use it to detect entry points for investments into new markets. So, by looking at not just the product, but the components and product use cases, to see where you end up with trends that are
Cool.
So, we detect early stage companies that have got legs.
Sweet. Have you seen anything interesting?
I'll let you know when I did see one thing. I was talking to one guy today, and I said, I see you do all this stuff. You use it to do this. Oh, I'm good for that.
Fair. Brilliant. Okay,
So
cool.
why are you here?
Just want to introduce ourselves to everyone because we've just taken over the wide cells.
What do you want to get out of it?
Literally, that's it. Yeah. Chat to a few people, see how things are going.
When do you, I mean, how many people have you got now?
6.
Sorry?
6 full time. Yeah. We'll just bring people in freelance when we need them. Soho. Yeah. So yeah, good. Yeah, we can carry on chatting another time.